So this is
Mm,
the first activity. We're going
mm,
to practice asking questions. And the reason
mm,
why is because a lot of my students, they practice answering questions, but they don't know
mm,
how to ask questions. So
mm,
we are just going to ask random questions about
mm,
random pictures. I'm going
mm,
to start with this
mm.
picture.
Okay.
I could ask, what is this vehicle called? Who is driving this vehicle? Where is it
Mm,
going?
mm.
How fast is the vehicle going? Blah, blah,
Ah,
blah.
mm,
Random questions, no
mm.
answers. All right.
Mm,
Now it's your turn, Yuki. I would
mm,
like for you to look at this picture and to ask
mm,
3 or 4 questions. You may
mm.
begin when you're ready.
Ah, yes. Ready.
Perfect. Fire away.
Ah, can you ask you some questions about this picture? Can I?
Yes, good.
Mm.
Go ahead. You could ask
Um,
questions.
is this big boy refrigerator or a real human?
Yes. Excellent. Continue.
And can you see a bed in this room?
Good. Excellent. And one more, Yuki. One
One more. Do you think you if you can swim in the sink in this
more.
picture?
Do you think you could swim in this sink? Excellent stuff. Let's come back here. Beautiful stuff. All right. Activity number 2. This
Mm,
is called Would You Rather. So I'll give you 2 options and you
mm,
need to choose one and tell me why.
mm,
So, question 1. Would
mm,
you rather
mm,
have 3 hands or
mm.
3 feet?
I'd rather have 3 feet because I
Okay.
have so many things that I want to do at the same time, but sometimes I cannot do. So I need one more hand if possible.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 100%. Could you give me an example of something you would do with 3 feet?
For example, while I'm um, making a phone call, I can cook by the other hand, and maybe I can order something on Amazon on the third hand.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. The same with me. I would rather have 3 hands.
Mm,
That way I would be able to multitask, So I would
yeah.
be able to,
Mm,
drink my tea,
mm,
maybe read a book, pet my
mm,
cats
mm,
simultaneously. Yeah.
mm.
All right.
Simultaneous.
Question 2.
Mm.
Would you rather be a bird or be a fish?
Ah, I'd rather to be a bird uh, than a fish because I don't like swimming. This year, I was nearly drowning, and I had
You
a
nearly
nightmare.
drowned.
Yeah, at that time I was in Vietnam and I enjoyed snorkeling, and
Oh,
for
great.
some reason I couldn't reach the shore, and I was, what can I say, washed away, and I
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, you washed or you were pulled under. You could say I
Yeah.
was pulled under.
Mm.
Oh no. So what happened, Yuki?
And at that time, I could see some Vietnamese people. I cannot speak any Vietnamese, but I just shook my hand. But they ignored me. So they maybe they thought I'm just
Saying
saying hello to
hi.
them. Yes. So I I I thought I was going to die, but I was struggling to reach their place, and for some reason, suddenly I could stood on the sea, so I was
Oh,
okay. But
nice. Oh gosh. Wow, that's very good luck. Oh, I'm
yeah, very
happy to
good
hear
luck.
that.
Yeah, so I don't I
But was it beautiful snorkeling? Was it a good
snow.
experience?
Yeah, very good experience. Before that, although I lived in the front of the sea and in an apartment, and I could see the ocean every morning, every day, but I never tried snorkeling. And I tried
That's
snorkeling, but
awesome.
the wave condition was not good.
Yeah. Last year I lived in Ireland and I
네.
lived right in front of the Atlantic Ocean. I could see the
와우.
Atlantic Ocean in front of my
네.
house and there was
와우.
a beach there.
음.
It's very famous for surfing. It's a little
아.
town called Bundoran in the
네.
north,
음.
in the northwest of Ireland.
음.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes I would see people out there and I would think, oh gosh, the waves are
음.
so strong. Like, I hope they're
Yeah.
safe,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes.
For me, Yuki, if I
음.
could be a bird or a
음.
fish, I would
음.
probably be a bird. I just
음.
think that it's more liberating to be able to
Yeah.
fly.
음.
I think there's so much potential for a fish because the ocean and the seas are so big, but
음.
still, I would like to be able to fly. And if
음.
I were a bird, I would
음.
be probably a hawk or a
음.
falcon,
음.
something big, or
음.
maybe even something beautiful. Like in
아.
Canada, we have these birds called blue jays, which I think are
네.
beautiful.
음.
Yeah.
음.
How about you? If you were a fish, what kind of fish would you be?
If I were a fish, what kind of fish? I want to be a shark because
Mhm.
everyone is scared of sharks, so maybe I can swim freely. And I don't eat other fish, but just I think I can act as I like.
Yeah, you would be a vegetarian shark. Awesome. One more question, Yuki, and then
음,
we'll go
음,
to part two.
음,
Would you rather travel to the future or
음.
travel to the past?
Um, I'd rather travel to the past because now I live in the UK and near my house there's a town which was built in 17th century, 17th century. And I always wondered how people were living at that time, but I could never experience that. So if I have a chance, I want to go back to the past.
Nice. Yes, same here. Actually, my dad is from the UK.
Oh,
He's from England. He's from a
음,
part of England called Essex.
네. 아,
Essex, England.
음,
Yes, I hear some I hear some bad things about Essex.
음.
A lot of
Really?
people a lot of people tell
음.
me it's like not bad, but it's just kind of like a lot of rich people live there, I think. Like a lot of
아,
well-off people live in Essex, I think. But
음,
my grandparents moved there or they bought their first house there
아,
because after World War II,
음,
they made a lot of homes there. They
음,
made these things called council homes. You might
네.
know this, council
아,
homes.
음,
Yeah, so like I guess the community would make them and then they
음,
would slowly lease them out to you
음.
until you could buy it from them for a very
아,
cheap price.
I see.
So yeah, so their homes are not from the 17th century. They're
음.
not so old, but it still kind of feels old. It feels
아,
older than when I'm in Canada, for example,
yeah.
All right, Yuki, let's go on to part two. So
음,
now we're going to have like a mini lesson just so that
음,
you could get an idea of what my
음.
style is as a
That's
teacher.
nice.
Awesome. So every lesson will have a topic, and today, usually I will give you the option of which
음,
topic to choose. I
음.
like for my students to choose their topic, but
와.
today, because it's the first lesson, I'll
음,
choose, and the
음,
topic is
음.
multitasking. So,
멀티타스킹. 음,
first question, what is
음.
multitasking in your
어,
words?
I think multitasking is mm, not only one thing, but also some several things do at the same time.
Yes, 100%. That's
Oh,
great.
really?
Could you give me an example?
Mm. For example, mm, while I'm cooking, I listen to music and sometimes uh, checking emails.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
just made up.
perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, like for example, sometimes I
Mm,
could watch TV
mm,
while I'm cooking, or
mm,
sometimes when I'm running, I could
mm,
listen to music. So
mm,
some of my students tell me that multitasking, it could be to do an active task, like something that
mm,
you need to concentrate for, like
mm,
cooking,
mm,
simultaneous with
mm.
a passive task, something that
Ah,
just watch
mm,
TV or
mm,
something like that.
mm,
Other students tell
mm.
me multitasking is to switch between tasks very quickly in a
Ah,
short amount of time. So,
mm,
for example, that's what I do when I'm teaching.
mm.
I'm listening to you and I'm writing down
Ah,
different, like I'm listening to your grammar, I'm listening to
mm,
pronunciation, to
mm,
your vocab,
mm,
and writing down
mm.
corrections.
Ah,
Yeah. Do you ever multitask as a
ah,
teacher on
ah.
iTalki, for example?
Night okay. Yeah, like you said, while my students are talking, I'm taking notes about the correction. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm,
Gotcha. Good
mm,
stuff. Sweet. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. All right,
yeah.
cool. So, as you probably know, I
Mm,
like
mm.
using pictures. I enjoy using
Oh,
pictures in my classes. Sometimes I
lovely.
use articles, sometimes I
Mm.
use
Eh,
videos. It depends on the kind of lesson you book.
mm,
But what we're going to do now for the next activity is just
mm.
explain pictures.
Ah,
All
mm,
right.
mm.
So this is a picture of multitasking right here,
Eh,
Yuki. I
mm,
would like for you to just look at the picture and
mm.
tell me what do you see in this picture?
In this picture, I can see four hands, and the person is checking the computer and typing something on the keyboard and scheduling by using iPad, a tablet in
That's
front of
it,
the.
100%. Yeah, all at the same time. That's great. So, looking at these three things, what do you think this person's job is? Like, what is their profession, for example? Could you guess?
Example. Mm, I'm not sure, but the person might be a secretary.
Yeah,
She's mm, making a document and doing some schedule, mm,
yeah,
checking
that's
the
a
bill.
great
Mm.
guess. Yeah, for sure. They may be a secretary, they
Mm.
may be a financial
Ah,
analyst. Um, yeah, they could be an economist. There are
mm,
many, like just a normal
mm,
manager.
mm,
There are many different jobs they
yeah.
may have.
Mm.
Beautiful. All right, Yuki, let's do one more together. Let's look at this picture right here, Yuki.
Mm.
What's going on in this picture?
Ah, in this picture, a woman is checking the website and typing something, and at the same time, uh, checking the email on her phone and calculating something, and having a
Mhm.
tablet and making a phone call and even typing something on the other hand.
100%. The only thing I would change there is we could
Mm.
say holding a tablet.
Ah,
Is it
hold.
okay with you if I write some corrections in
Mm. Ah,
the chat? Is that
yes, of
okay?
course.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Oh, perfect. No problem. Thank you. All right, Yuki. Final question. Could you just explain this person's appearance to me? What does
Uh,
she look like?
she looks very professional. She's wearing a nice
Mhm,
suit, fancy suit, and
mhm.
wearing glasses, and looks very neat.
Fantastic. All right, well done. Good stuff. Let's come back to Skype. All
Mm,
right, so for the next activity, in every class, be it conversational
mm,
or general English,
oh,
I like to give my students an opportunity to
mm,
complete a task individually. So I could shut up, you could have your space, and you could do something independently.
mm,
So the task for today, Yuki, I want you to make a list, a short list in the
mm,
Skype chat.
mm,
So make a list of two pros
mm,
and two cons
oh,
of multitasking.
mm,
So this list could be very short. It could just
Mm,
be 1 or 2 words for each point if you want. So just
mm,
think of 2 good things about
mm.
multitasking and 2 bad things. I'll
아,
give you 90 seconds.
음,
No, I'll give you 2 minutes. We have
음.
lots of time today.
아,
So
thank
you have
you.
2 minutes.
음,
No problem. I'll
음.
turn my camera and my microphone off so you
아,
don't feel rushed, and I'll see you in 2 minutes. Do you
okay.
have any questions?
No question. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Yuki.
Okay. Good thing.
All right, Yuki, how are we doing so far? Do you need more time?
Yes, sorry, I don't think of
Take
the
your
good thing.
time. No rush. Tell me when you're done.
Thank you. Now finished.
All right, looks good. Excellent, Yuki. Could
Sorry,
you
I.
present this to me, please? Oh, no, that's
Ah,
okay. That's okay. We have lots of time today. Could you please present this to me and just read it out to me?
okay. there are pros and cons of multitasking. For Firstly, two good things about multitasking is by making several things at the same time, we can save time. And second, as a teacher, I can give my students more beneficial lessons if I can do multitasking. We don't have to make them wait while I'm typing after listening to them. And there are two bad things also. Uh, One thing is if we do multitasking, we might easily make mistakes. And the other one is we cannot focus on one thing while doing multitasking. For example, if I listen to music while I'm studying, I feel I'm learning, but in reality, I could just end up listening to music.
Fantastic. All right. Excellent. Good stuff. Yuki, I'm going to share my screen with you for just a
Mm,
second before we go
mm,
on to the next activity.
mm.
So that all looks very good to me. Do you see my screen right now, Yuki?
Yes, I can see it. Thank
Perfect. So this is typically what I do for my students, not in
you.
the first lesson, but after the first lesson,
Mm,
in the second or third lessons. I create a Google Doc for them
mm.
just so that they could see the different feedback that I'm giving them.
Ah,
So we have some different categories here. We have
mm.
VGP. These are
Oh,
for giving corrections. Do you have
oh.
any idea what
Mm.
V or G or P stands for?
Maybe V stands for vocabulary.
You got it. Vocab, yes.
Yay.
How
And
about
G
you?
might be grammar.
You got it. Yes, and okay, I pretty much told you it's
Pronunciation.
pronunciation. Yes, exactly. So the reason why I wanted to make this for you here is because
Mm,
I noticed that you said by making several things at the
uh,
same time. And I just wanted to give you usually in the
mm,
recommendations, I'll put some resources for the
ah,
future. This is just on the difference between do versus make. You
mm,
probably know this difference, but just kind of
ah,
forgot it,
mm,
and that's okay.
mm,
But basically, since
mm,
we're talking about
ah,
multitasking and
mm,
we're focusing on different activities or
mm,
actions,
mm.
it'd be better to say by doing several things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. Mm,
no problem at all. So, in the recommendations, I'll put just different
mm,
links for resources that could help you.
mm,
Constructive criticism, of course, I'll
ah,
put general comments on how to
mm,
improve, and positive feedback are things that I like that you are
mm,
doing. All right, so I'll stop sharing my screen now. We'll
mm,
move on to the next activity, but
mm.
that's just something for you to look at after class.
Ah,
I'll send you the
thank,
link for it right now.
thank you.
No
Very
problem.
helpful. Mm,
Yeah, no problem at all. It was another iTalki teacher who taught me to do this, to use
oh,
Google Docs. I never used
ah,
them until they told me about it.
really?
Okay, excellent.
I'm using a
Yeah.
Google Doc as well. Useful.
Good stuff.
Mm,
All right, so let's try to synthesize this into, like to summarize these points.
mm,
So we could save time. So let's put time efficiency,
mm,
just to kind of make it a little bit fast,
mm.
a little bit shorter. Time efficiency.
Time
If we do
efficiency.
multitasking, we
Mm.
might easily make mistakes. Yeah, okay. So we could say maybe prone to error.
Oh.
Error.
Mm,
Yes. Happy days. Cool. We cannot focus on one thing while doing multitasking. For example, if I listen to music while I'm studying, I feel I am learning, but in reality, I could, okay, all right. So maybe we could, lack of focus, right? We could say lack
lack
of
of focus.
focus.
Mm.
Focus.
Eh,
Excellent. And the last one, I would like for you to summarize that in
mm,
2 or 3 words.
mm.
The last point, could you summarize it, please, Yuki?
Summarize. Uh, what I wrote, I summarized it.
Yeah, like
Uh,
as a teacher, I can give. Yeah. Hmm.
as a teacher, mm, as a teacher, I can give my students. more beneficial lessons. I won't waste their time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So less time wasted. Let's put that one. Less time wasted. Perfect stuff. Excellent. I'm going to copy this and put it into our Google Doc.
Thanks.
Excellent.
I can review them.
Perfect. No, so you're here, so that's beautiful. Activity one. Excellent. Okay, happy days. Great. So what we're going to do now is actually have a look at this link right here, and we're going to compare and contrast. So activity two, I'd like for you to open that link that I put in the Google Doc if you
Okay.
see it. Yeah, take your time.
Oh, activity 2.
So when you open up that link,
Mm, mm.
pros and cons of multitasking,
Yes, I found
look,
it. Mm.
perfect, awesome. Let me know when you're ready to
Ah,
proceed.
thank you. I'm ready now.
All right, let's get going. Cool. So I could share my screen with you right now, but I'm not doing that because sometimes I like to give my students instructions and
Ah,
directions so they need to navigate
mm.
the resource. Okay. So
Okay.
here's what I'd like for you to do, Yuki. I'd like for you
Mm,
to go down
mm.
this link and you're going to find a table with pros and
Oh,
cons of
mm,
multitasking.
mm.
When you see that table, please tell me.
Yes, I can see it.
You see it. All right, fantastic. Happy days. So what we're going to do here, we're going to compare and contrast
Mm,
your pros with their pros and your
mm,
cons with their cons.
mm,
So let's get started. Pros,
mm.
for pros, it says, oh, where am I
Oh.
right now? Okay. Um,
Oh,
oh, here we
there.
go. Excellent. So,
There.
so for pros, it says
Mm,
increased efficiency, increased
mm,
productivity, increased
mm.
resilience, flexibility, and adaptability. You
Oh.
said
Mm,
time efficiency. So I
mm.
think this is pretty much the same as what they're saying there.
Yes.
And less time wasted, they pretty much touch on that as well. So excellent stuff. All right. Excellent, Yuki. Now, I'd like for you to compare their cons to
Mm.
your cons. You may
Ah,
begin.
declining quality might be the same as the making errors, mistakes easily.
Yes. Could you
And
bold that, please?
forward.
Just like I bolded these. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. This one. Uh, chronic, chronic distraction. I
Mm,
wrote. I'm studying, but I listen to music.
great.
I'm
Yeah,
distracted in that case. Mm.
exactly. And I appreciate that you gave examples. Well done, Yuki. You
Thank
could close this down and come
you.
back to Skype now.
Okay.
Excellent stuff. We're going to do one more activity for
Mm.
our trial lesson, and then we'll just
Uh,
have a conversation.
yeah.
No strings attached. All right.
Okay.
So the last activity is a role play. I don't usually do role plays in my
Hey,
classes, but
ready?
we're going to do a role play today.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask you, well, I'm going to pretend to be your brother and you are my
Mm,
sister. I
mm.
need your help for something, but you must say no. You
Oh.
have to reject me. Are
Oh.
you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start.
Mm.
Okay. Hi, Yuki. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so
Oh.
excited for mom's birthday.
Oh.
Mom's birthday is on the weekend. You
Mm.
remembered, right?
Yeah, nearly forgot, but yeah, I remember
Okay,
that. Mm.
excellent. Well, Yuki, I have to ask you for a favor, big sis. We all know that you are such a good baker. You're great at baking, and I really need your help. Could you
Mm.
help me bake a cake for mom?
I'd love to, but unfortunately, I'm going to have many lessons on weekends, and I have to prepare for Christmas. So I'll I'll give you my recipe book. So why don't you try the cake?
But
following the
you're the
recipe.
best but you're the best baker. It's for mom. Could you cancel your classes?
No,
All
never
right.
cancel my lessons.
No, never cancel your lessons. Good stuff. Great iTalki teacher. All right, well done, Yuki. Excellent stuff. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So
Oh,
before we finish up, the last thing, I just want to give you a few idioms that we could use when we're explaining that we're
idioms.
too busy and making an excuse.
Mm,
So, for example, we could say the obvious one: my
mm.
hands are full. My hands
Oh,
are full. I have too much
mm.
going on, right?
Oh, my hands are
You could
full.
also say, I have too much on my plate. On my plate.
Eh,
Have you heard that one before?
no, but I want to learn
No?
idioms. I cannot use
Yeah.
idioms very well.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad you're here then. And the last one we could use is I'm juggling. This one's a
I'm
little bit
jug.
less common. I'm
Mm,
juggling a lot right now.
mm,
Yeah. Do you know what it means to juggle?
juggle.
Mhm.
Not sure. Sorry.
No, it's
Mm.
like at the circus, you know, the doo 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 doo
Ah,
doo
that
doo with
one.
the balls. Yeah, that's
Ah,
juggling. So
eh.
if I say like I'm juggling so much right now, I have school, I have work, I have
Ah,
YouTube, so much is going
oh, I see.
on. Awesome.
Oh, it's fun.
Great stuff, Yuki. That is our lesson. So
Ah,
now for the rest of time we could chat.
yeah.
So the first thing I'd like to know, well, I'd like for you to just present yourself, introduce yourself generally, and tell me why you're here today.
Ah, I've been teaching Japanese, mainly Japanese on iTalki for nearly 5 years. And during the very severe lockdown in Vietnam, I had lots of time and I suddenly started making YouTube videos. The channel is Learning Japanese. And I I wanted to know there are any italki tutors make YouTubers. So I checked and I found your videos, and they are really interesting. So uh, I I wanted to talk with you. So today I booked your lesson, and I was really looking forward to this lesson.
That's awesome. Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad you booked a lesson with me for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I see that you've taught like 2,000 lessons on iTalki, I think. I think it's about 2,000.
Nearly 2,000.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, you
Yeah.
taught nearly more than 3,000 lessons, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
many.
yeah, I know.
Mm.
I've
Oh,
I I've been a busy boy for sure. Yeah,
wow.
I've
How
been
long
very
have you
lucky.
been teaching on iTalki?
I started in really I started in January of
Oh,
2020. So like last
eh,
year in so
wow.
two years I've
Only two
really been
years.
teaching for.
Ah, I see.
Mhm.
Wow. Very busy.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, I've been so lucky, Yuki. I just
Mm.
kind of, I have a lot of loyal students and a lot of
Ah,
my students just
mm,
I think it's so important for you to have a good relationship with
mm.
your students, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that a lot of my students,
Mm,
I like them and they like
mm.
me, so we're like
Yeah.
compatible.
Ah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Some of my students are very loyal, so they've been taking my lessons nearly 5 years. So I really happy with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? 5 years.
Mm,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's incredible. Wow. So, do you have any specific questions for me or anything that you would like to talk about specifically?
Um, I think during the COVID, so the number of English teachers increased a lot. So I guess lots of italki teachers are struggling to get students, but you are really successful at that very tough time. So how did you gather so many students in a short time?
Yeah, I think like the first thing that I did was I
Mm.
started earlier. Like I started
Oh,
just before the pandemic, and I think
ah,
that's given me a real edge, because
eh,
I think some other teachers are kind of like playing catch up in a
mm,
way, right? Because
mm,
I guess, got started on iTalki when there were so
Mm,
many teachers and they had
mm,
to compete. And then
mm,
maybe by the time that they started to implement different
mm,
strategies
mm,
to improve their teaching, they already
mm.
lost their new teacher badge, which is very
Ah,
important, right?
mm,
So that kind
mm,
of took them off the first few pages
yeah.
of the search tab.
Mm,
So I think that gave me one advantage, but on the other hand, it
mm,
may not have given me an advantage because as you see in my YouTube videos, it
mm.
took me a very long time to
네.
recognize a lot of very basic things in terms of
음.
teaching English. Like I
아,
made so many mistakes, Yuki, at the
really?
beginning for the first
네.
like 5 months. Yeah, like
음.
in my most recent video, I talk about how I didn't use Google Docs. I had
음.
separate documents for every
아.
student. I
와.
had
I
Microsoft
did the
Docs,
same.
and I spent so much time outside of class. It
음.
was inefficient, you know?
음.
So, in a way, I think having higher numbers,
음.
working a lot before
음.
coronavirus really happened, I think that
네.
helped me. But at the
아.
same time,
음.
I think some of the things I've done recently has
음.
allowed me to maintain all of my
네.
students. And the things I've done recently,
음.
it's developing a curriculum, which is a real
아.
big thing, giving
curriculum.
my students
음.
discounts, right? And giving my
어.
students deals to
네.
keep them booking
와.
lessons. I
음.
actually don't do this now, but I
아, 네.
started doing that
음.
last year.
음. 음.
Um, Giving report cards is a big
음.
thing as well,
음.
report cards.
음.
Um, those are the things I think that have been very important, and trial lessons. My trial lessons,
와우.
I'm very happy. I have like
음.
5 different trial lessons that I do with
네.
students. You
I was
saw one
surprised to
today.
that. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
structured and professional. So,
Mhm.
did
Thank
you
you.
learn how to
Thank
teach English before? Like, you're
Yeah.
qualified. Ah.
I
음.
began so I got my TESOL
음.
in 2000 and I guess 17 in
아.
Thailand.
네, in
Yeah,
Thailand.
so in Thailand, yeah, so I
Wow.
taught in Bangkok for
어?
5 months, and
네.
unfortunately, I could never go to Vietnam
어.
because my
It's
visa
close
in
to Vietnam.
Thailand,
Yes.
it did not let me
음.
leave
Yeah.
Thailand. Like, I could not
아.
leave and re-enter, but
음.
I wanted to
음.
go to Vietnam, but I
아.
couldn't do that.
sometimes.
Um, yeah. So, yeah, I had
와.
experience there, and then I taught in Toronto, in Ireland, and then
네.
iTalki.
와,
Yeah.
experienced teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got trial
You
lessons.
too. You're
Oh,
very experienced. I saw
I'm
your
experienced, but
profile.
no, 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 no. I like teaching and
No. Yeah.
mm,
That's awesome. So I know you're a Japanese teacher
mm,
and an English teacher.
mm,
So I know you've been teaching Japanese for how
mm.
long? Like 8 years.
Yeah, to be honest, in 2016, I got the two Japanese teachers like qualifications. So since then, I
Mm,
started to teach Japanese to foreigners. But before that,
mhm,
I taught Japanese to Japanese students, like elementary school
mm.
students, or secondary school students. So in total,
Interesting.
it's been a while, but yeah, teaching
Yeah.
Japanese to foreigners is lots of fun. I can learn
I
something from them as well.
I also have a question about your
Mm,
certification, Yuki,
mm,
because I
mm,
see that you have TESOL,
mm,
no, TESOL and TEFL
mm,
certification. Like you have
yeah.
two certificates, I
Mm,
believe. So
ah,
I wonder, why
mm,
did you get
mm,
multiple English teaching
mm.
certifications? And
Ah,
or CELTA, maybe it's
yes,
CELTA that
shelter.
you have.
Yes.
Why did you get multiple?
Ah, when I was a university student, I got a Japanese English teacher's license. And it's a
Mm,
degree, but I thought by using that method, my Japanese students never can speak English very fluently, just focus on reading or grammar things. So
mm,
I wanted to take real English teacher's certification. So in that case, I learned how to improve my students' speaking skills and listening skills. each skill. So the method was very different. And to be honest, I took self-taught course online last year. And
Oh,
after that, I took uh, just a computer online TEFL course. So yeah, I wanted to know the difference, but the methods are very similar.
similar. Okay.
Similar.
Interesting. That was my question. Yeah, like if
Mm,
they were
mm,
different.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Mm.
Because I have two certificates and they are
Oh,
very different, right? Like my
oh, yeah.
first
Mm,
certificate was
mm,
TESOL, and that
mm,
was in Thailand.
mm,
So it was a 4-week course, and it was
mm,
great to get your
mm,
feet wet and to get your
mm,
foot in the door.
mm,
Um, you know, we went through like methodology, we went through
mm,
different kind of techniques to teaching
mm,
English and stuff like that, classroom management,
mm.
but it was very quick. And it's
Eh,
basically for people who are kind of
mm,
teaching, but they're
mm,
also on holiday, right? Like
mm,
teachers in Thailand, um,
mm,
new
mm.
young teachers in
Ah,
Thailand, right?
I see.
So then,
Mm,
last year
mm,
I took a C TESOL
mm.
certificate course,
See that.
which yeah, and that basically is a Canadian TESOL
Eh,
certificate. So
oh,
it it allows me to be accredited.
mm,
It gives me accreditation
mm,
in the Ontario kind of Council of
mm.
Teachers,
Eh,
of ESL teachers,
mm,
right?
mm,
It's called
mm.
TESOL Ontario.
Eh,
So having that certification is very important for me
mm,
to be able to teach at
mm.
different institutions in Canada. And
Ah,
this was at a university, it was 2
mm.
semesters,
Eh,
it was like I did a practicum, I did a
mm,
placement, so it
mm.
was completely different. Like the
Eh,
first TESOL versus
ah,
the CTESOL were like
completely
black and white,
different.
completely different. So that's why I was curious about your story.
Ah, I see. But Celta was very tough for me. I wanted to
Mhm.
it end quick fast, but it was like endless, and I had to write
Endless.
lots of reports, and sometimes it was rejected, so I couldn't
Oh,
sleep. Yeah, but it worth it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, not awesome, but it's awesome that you yeah, I guess it's good that you surpassed that
Mm.
challenge, like it's
Managed.
good for teachers. Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Wow.
Awesome.
And you are very
So I'd
successful on YouTube as
no,
well. Yes.
yeah, oh, on YouTube, thank you so much. I
Mm.
was going to ask you about
Ah,
YouTube. That was going to
mm,
be my next question.
I
Yeah, so I think on YouTube,
mm,
for my first year,
mm,
I didn't, it felt like I was just talking to the screen. Like I did
ah,
not have a lot of viewers.
mm, mm,
I didn't really, it
mm.
didn't seem like many people were watching.
Mm.
But this year has been a great year. It's been
Wow,
fantastic. It's
cool.
been just like so much engagement and so many
Mm.
people. And then some people like you are booking lessons, like
Yes,
booking
yes,
sessions
yes.
with me on iTalki. It's like, it's
Wow,
incredible.
really? You have so many students. So many of them are coming from YouTube, watching YouTube videos, right?
Yeah, some of them, like some
Eh,
teachers, right? But even
Teachers.
before, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So
Mm,
students, people who are learning English
mm,
aren't aren't usually finding me on YouTube, but
mm,
it's teachers like people who teach on iTalki. They
mm.
see my videos on YouTube and then they book a
Eh,
session with me to talk to me.
Interesting.
It's so exciting. So exciting.
Cool. Wow. Where are they from? From all over the world.
Yeah,
Teachers.
so I'll tell you
Mm,
like
mm,
like a timeline. So
mm,
even last year, before
mm,
I had many people watching my YouTube, there were teachers who booked
mm.
lessons with me
Eh,
um, on iTalki.
Oh.
So I had some teachers from Korea. I had a
Mm,
few teachers from Japan. I had
oh.
some teachers from Italy, a few
Eh,
from like maybe one or two from Russia. So I think in total I had about 20 teachers.
So
But
many.
Yeah, but none of them recognized me from YouTube. They
Oh,
were just teachers who like had maybe B2 level English and they
mm,
taught English in their hometowns and they
mm.
wanted to improve their English to go
Ah,
up to
I
advanced
see.
level. Yeah.
Eh,
So then this year I had more teachers who
mm,
are actually iTalki teachers
mm,
who
mm,
saw me on YouTube
mm,
and said
mm.
and book lessons and said, Ryan, like I want some tips. I want you to help me to get more students, to be successful. So
I'm
that's
not
what's
the only
happening
one.
now.
Wow,
Yeah,
you're so
yeah.
open and yeah, you're like a leader of iTalki Tutor.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, but I really I feel very flattered. I
Yeah, no,
go
no,
red
no. Yeah,
red
no,
ears.
no, you are doing so well. So, wow, very
Thank you,
attractive.
Yuki.
How long have you been making YouTube videos?
For 2 years.
Two
I think
years.
just before I started on iTalki, I
Mm.
began making videos,
Ah,
and I think
mm,
well, I know at the beginning, I had
mm.
no idea what I was doing, Yuki. Like, I
Eh,
wanted my brand was supposed to be, like, travel
mm,
and teaching ESL
mm,
and learning
mm.
languages. So like
Ah,
I didn't know what I was doing. Like on one end, I
mm,
was making some videos about tips for
mm,
ESL teachers in general, right? This
mm.
was before iTalki.
Eh,
And then
mm,
I was also interested in language learning. So I started
mm.
keeping language diaries. Like I would
Ah,
speak
mm,
French or German or
mm.
Spanish for
Eh,
like
very.
one day for a month
Mm,
or
mm.
something. And then
Eh,
I started on iTalki
mm,
and I began making a few videos about
mm,
iTalki.
mm.
And then I just kind of got addicted. And I didn't
Oh,
care who
addicted.
watched. I
Yeah.
was just so like, I was just, I
Mm,
enjoyed it,
mm,
because it's hard to get the confidence to make YouTube videos, to put
yeah.
your face on.
Mm.
I never thought I would be able to do it. Um,
Eh,
e-
you look so
even
confident.
today,
Mm.
oh, really? Thank you
Even
so much.
today. Wow.
Even today, if somebody said to me like, "Oh, Ryan, you're a YouTuber," I would be like, "No, no, no, no. I
You're
don't give
so
myself a
good.
label of a YouTuber. Like, I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
it's
Mm.
yeah, like it's like I'm a guy who makes videos on YouTube, but like to think of a YouTuber, like it doesn't. It's not
Eh,
part of my like
really?
repertoire or my resume.
Oh.
Yeah, for some reason. But, now that I have so much more experience, I'm so much more
Mm,
confident in front of the
mm.
camera, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Ah,
changed a lot. Yeah.
wow, cool. Wow, you look so confident on the YouTube videos. And I
Oh,
didn't. Wow,
thank
about
you,
how
Yuki.
many videos did you make so far?
Cool. Good question. So this
Sorry.
year,
Mm,
I kind of cleaned up a little bit because I
mm.
think I had about 150
Oh,
videos or
wow,
something like that.
150.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I
Mm,
didn't begin editing my
mm,
videos
mm.
until 3 months ago. So before
Eh,
that,
mm,
it was very fast.
mm,
Basically, it was like this right here. Like
mm,
we could
mm,
have we could be speaking,
mm. Yeah.
finish the video,
Mm.
upload to YouTube. But
Yeah,
now,
no edit. Mm,
yeah, like now I edit the
mm,
video. So now it's
mm,
like a complete different thing because
mm.
now it takes a little bit more time, right? So
Eh,
yeah,
ah,
so I this year I deleted some of the older videos that people aren't really watching. So I
ah,
think right now I have about 110 videos or
oh,
something.
selected ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Eh,
exactly. But quality is more important than quantity, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just italki is so specific. It's such a
Very
specific
specific. Yeah.
thing to
Mm,
talk about italki. So it's
mm,
like if I don't have a good variety of videos,
mm,
I don't
mm.
think it will be very useful to people, you
Oh,
know?
oh, might be.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
your main topic is iTalki on your YouTube
Oh
channel.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
that's it. Yeah,
Eh,
definitely.
what
How
kind
about
of
for
editor
you?
do you use? Sorry.
Oh, no
Mm,
problem.
yeah.
So I use iMovie,
Eh,
on Apple,
on
actually,
Apple.
my MacBook, that's right.
Mm,
Um,
wow.
So that's what I use. I'm still getting
Mm,
used to it.
mm,
Sometimes my subscribers will
mm.
write comments and they will say, "Oh, Ryan, it's too low. I can't hear you." So I need
Oh,
to bring it up. Or
ah,
sometimes they say it keeps cutting. There's like a
mm,
background noise. So I
mm,
need to. So I read the comments.
mm,
I take the criticism from
mm,
people. And honestly, I am so lucky because a
mm.
lot of other people on YouTube, they have many people who write mean things, very, very bad
Oh,
things, and they are not
yeah.
constructive, they are just rude.
Oh.
People, for me, they are either very positive, where it's
Mm,
constructive criticism, so I
mm.
think that's
Eh,
fine.
wow, you
But
have good
Yuki,
followers.
yeah, but I have a question for you. How
Mm.
has your YouTube experience been?
Ah, while I was in Vietnam, I almost every day I made a video because I had lots of time at that time. But after coming to UK for 3 or 4 months, I couldn't make any videos because I
Mm,
no space and no time to do that. And nowadays, I started to make short videos like YouTube
mm,
shorts. But I think I needed to make the longer, proper videos. So now I
mm.
try to make longer ones. But yeah, for me, it's a little bit difficult to gather followers. So sometimes I
Ah,
make a video, but only 20 viewers. So I wonder
mhm.
why, how you can get so many viewers and become popular.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean,
mm,
if I share my screen with you
mm,
right here,
mm,
I could
mm,
share it with you right here so that you could have a look at my YouTube.
mm.
Do you see my screen right here, Yuki?
Yes. Yes, I can see.
Perfect.
Mm.
Happy days. Awesome. So this is pretty much what
Mm.
has happened right
Oh.
here.
Mm,
If we go to my analytics and we
mm,
go to like maybe
mm.
300, let's just go to
Oh.
lifetime. You
Mm.
could see it
Wow.
was low, 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 like
Oh,
20
very tough
views
time. Yeah.
per day, and
Mm.
then bam. And this is
Wow,
like this
suddenly.
summer and
Wow,
fall,
cool.
you know?
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So
Wow.
it's the same with the watch
Mm.
time, it was so
Eh,
low watch time and then it went
wow.
up.
We
Um,
have to be
I
patient.
think
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, we
Mm.
have to be patient, but I have to tell you one other thing. It's
Wow.
the thumbnail. These pictures that I
Your
put in here,
thumbnails are
Yuki.
so nice, so
Oh,
attractive.
thank you
Yeah.
so much because I'm not artistic at all. I have
Yeah, but
no artistic, so I had
eh,
to learn this
very good
from
design.
other YouTubers.
Eh.
Um, yeah, but
Mm,
before, what I
mm,
would do,
mm,
my thumbnails, I would
mm.
write down the
Eh, you
title and I would
whoa,
go like this. It was
very analog.
like yeah, like it was just very I don't know, it didn't look professional. It wasn't eye-catching or anything like that. And I did
Friendly.
that until
Mm,
yeah, I did that this year
mm.
until like March or something, March of
Eh,
this year, and I changed
mm.
and then it went up quick. So
Eh,
I think
thumbnails.
thumbnail is important. Mhm.
Wow, but I don't have any sense of designs.
Mhm.
How did you, how were you able to make such a good thumbnails? Did you learn something?
Yeah, my suggestion
Mm.
is to like I make all of my thumbnails with Canva. And
Ah,
actually I make
mm,
learning materials as
mm.
well.
Eh,
My materials on my Patreon account,
mm,
all of
mm,
them are used with
mm,
Canva.
mm.
So, I think it would be good for you to go onto Canva and
Ah,
just like type in YouTube thumbnail and
oh,
boom, you will see all these different kinds.
I see. Wow, thank you. You're so kind.
No problem. No problem.
Wow, very
Do you
nice.
have
I
any
can
more
learn.
questions?
Me, maybe I asked so many things. Oh, how often do you make videos a week?
Well, typically I try to make them 3 videos per week, but that's a lot right now because now I'm studying, I'm doing my master's degree, and
Oh,
I'm teaching, 40
very
classes
busy.
a week, and
40.
yeah, so
Mm,
I'm pretty busy. So
mm,
I think that will go down to maybe 2
mm,
videos per week.
mm,
But yeah, I think, when I was getting started, it was like
mm,
2 or 3 videos per week
mm.
typically.
I
Yeah,
see. Wow.
awesome. Yuki, I'm just going to give you homework for next
Oh,
time, just in case if
mm,
I see you again, okay?
okay.
So
Thanks.
I'm just going to share my screen with you, no
Mm,
problem.
mm,
Each class, I give my students two options for homework.
mm,
So
mm,
I'll give you option one. What is your plan
mm.
for growing
Oh.
your YouTube channel? Wow.
That would be
150
fun. Mm.
words. Awesome.
Okay.
And option two,
Mm,
maybe tell me about your greatest
mm,
lessons
mm,
learned
mm.
as a teacher on iTalki. Beautiful.
Yes. Oh, nice topics.
Beautiful. Excellent. I'm happy to
Mm.
hear.
Oh,
I
thanks.
wish we could talk for longer, Yuki. I have so many more questions for you. That passed quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, indeed.
Um,
Thank you for today.
no problem. Let's finish with one more activity.
Mm,
This activity is called, let me
mm,
just find a marker right here. This activity is called Say What You See.
mm,
So I'm going to grab a marker. I'm going to draw a picture and it
mm.
represents a phrase, and I want you to tell me what the phrase is. So the
Eh,
first one right here is
mm.
sit.
Eh, sit down.
Yeah, you got it. Awesome.
Oh,
Happy
it's fun.
days.
Mm.
All right, let's try this one right here. This one is to look.
Look around.
Yeah, you got it. Awesome. And
Eh,
and let's do one more before we finish. We could
mm.
do get get
Oh,
it.
eh, get it. What's that? It's difficult. Get it.
Yeah.
Get, ah,
It means like don't worry about it. It's
ah,
okay.
it's okay. Mm, get, oh, it's get it.
Not sure?
Forget it. Forget. No, 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 no.
Oh, forget it. Good
Forget it.
try. It's actually get over it. Get
Get
over
over it.
it. Like, don't worry, move on. Yes.
Get over it.
Awesome.
Thanks. Wow.
All right, Yuki. I hope
Mm,
I see you again.
yeah.
Please send me
Mm.
your channel. Send me your channel so I could subscribe to you.
Thank
Okay?
you.
I'd
Later,
love
I
to
will do that.
subscribe.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. No
Yeah, nice to
problem.
see you today.
If
And thank you for
you
great
too, if
tips.
you have any questions, send me a message. I'll see you
Okay.
next time, okay?
See you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Yuki. Thanks.